wasn't an easy match for Eala. The first set was kind of straightforward, but the second set, Lynette put in that fight, and now Eala's going to play Muchova, who is a very dangerous player, very tough player, with all her variety. She's never played her before, so it's going to be fun to watch that match in a couple of days' time. But let me know in the comments below, can she beat Muchova? Now that Swiatek's out the way, because of course Lynette beat Swiatek in the previous round, how far can Eala go? Can she get to the quarterfinals where she'll take on a top 10 player, either on both?
It's called wide. And so it's Alexandra Eala who is through. She did some incredible things here last year with the semifinal run, and she'd like to go even further.
The love affair with Miami continues for Alexandra.
Let's hear it one more time, Alex Eala.
What happens when the most exciting young player in the draw walks straight into the one opponent she is completely unprepared for? That is exactly the question hanging over this round of 16 match. Because we are past the point where talent alone carries you through. The pretenders are gone. What remains are the contenders, the players with the firepower, the intelligence, and the nerve to survive under the harshest conditions on a tennis court. And right now, the lights are on. Every single point feels heavier. Every shot carries consequences. There is no margin left for comfort or hesitation. This is where tournaments are truly won and lost. So, when you put Alexandra Eala on one side of the net, the fearless 31st seed from the Philippines, carrying an entire nation's hope on her shoulders, and Karolína Muchová on the other side, the brilliant, dangerous, deeply unpredictable 13th seed from the Czech Republic, what you get is not just a tennis match. What you get is a stylistic collision, a generational collision. And for Alex specifically, it might be the most tactically dangerous situation she has ever walked into in her professional career.
Congratulations, you are headed back to the 4th round here in Miami, and to do it, you had to get through a fighter today in Magda Linette. You know how tough she can be. Other than this incredible crowd, what do you think got you over the finish line?
Oh, I think patience was a very key aspect of how I played today. You said it first, Magda is such a fighter, and every time I played against her, she's put me in such difficult positions. So kudos to her for playing well, and yeah, I really enjoyed the battle.
Okay, last year at this time, you were ranked 140 in the world, and coming into the Miami Open this year, you're 29 in the world. What would you say is the biggest difference in you standing here today as both a person and a player?
I think I've matured a lot in the past year. I've been put in a lot of high pressure moments, a lot of big stages, which I am so grateful for and wouldn't trade for the world. But you know, being back in the 4th round, it makes me feel the same as I did last year. I'm so happy, I'm so excited, and you know, it's such a privilege to be back in Miami.
Well, it is so great to have you.
To understand the real danger in this matchup, you first have to understand what makes Alex so special and what makes her vulnerable. Alex is a product of the Rafa Nadal Academy. She is a left-handed baseline powerhouse who uses her natural angle of attack to create discomfort for right-handed opponents before the rally even begins. Her game is built on aggression. She wants the ball early. She wants to dictate the pace. She hits with heavy, penetrating topspin off both sides, especially that forehand, which she uses like a weapon to drive opponents into the back corners and suffocate their options. But here is the key thing you need to understand about Alex. She is a rhythm player. She thrives when the pace is fast, when the exchanges are physical, and when the ball arrives at a predictable height and speed that lets her load up and unload. Give her that rhythm, and she is devastating. She can rip winners through anyone. Her youth fuels her fearlessness, and the fact that she has battled her way to the second week as a 31st seed says everything about her quality and her fighting spirit. But what happens when you take that rhythm away completely? What happens when the ball never arrives the same way twice? That is where Karolína Muchová becomes an absolutely terrifying opponent.
It is so much fun to watch you play. You are so seemingly fearless. You take the ball so early, you redirect so well. Has that always been your style of game, or has there been a coach along the way that said, this is how you're going to play?
I want to think that being aggressive has always kind of been what I've aimed to do. Maybe it's only come out well like in the past year or so, but no, I think it's really part of my game. Of course, I have an amazing team who have really fine-tuned my game and really helped me take it to the next level now. But yeah, I think being aggressive is something that I like to do. Yeah.
40-15.
Because Muchova does not play modern tennis, and that is not a criticism, that is what makes her so dangerous. While the rest of the women's tour has become a power contest where baseliners try to out-hit each other with pace and heavy spin, Muchova plays a brand of tennis that feels like it came from a different era entirely. She is a tactical chameleon, an all-court genius. She does not beat you with raw power, she dismantles you with variety, with disguise, and with an almost surgical ability to take apart the very foundation of your game. And the weapon she will use against Alex starts with that backhand slice. In the hands of most players, the slice is a defensive shot, something you pull out when you are out of position and need a second to recover. But for Muchova, the slice is an offensive tool. She hits it with heavy, biting underspin that keeps the ball low and skidding off the surface. This is a catastrophic problem for Alex. Her topspin ground strokes need to be struck between waist and shoulder height. That is her power zone. Muchova's slice robs her of that entirely. The ball stays ankle high. Alex has to bend down, scoop upward, and try to generate pace from a position where her biomechanics are completely compromised. Her power disappears. Her ability to step forward and control the point disappears. And then, just when Alex adjusts, Muchova switches to a heavy topspin ball, then a flat driving shot, then a floater. The pace, the spin, the trajectory, none of it repeats. And that constant change is not just physically demanding, it is mentally exhausting. Alex will never settle. She will never feel the match groove that makes her game click. Every single ball will require a fresh calculation. And while Alex is solving that problem, Muchova is adding another layer. Because unlike the baseliners Alex is used to facing, Muchova actively hunts the net. She uses that low biting slice as her approach shot, keeping the ball down, forcing Alex to produce a perfect passing shot from an uncomfortable position. Once at the net, Muchova has incredible soft hands and spatial awareness. She can put away a drop volley. She can angle a winner into the open court. Suddenly Alex cannot just camp at the back and swing away. She has to track Muchova's position at all times. She has to worry about the passing shot on the run, the lob, the angle. The court starts to shrink. The pressure starts to compound, and that psychological weight, that feeling of claustrophobia where every decision feels high risk, is exactly how Muchova wants her opponents to feel. Because tennis at this level is chess, and Karolína Muchová is a grandmaster. She reads opponents before the ball is even struck. She will spend the early stages of this match deliberately probing Alex, testing different patterns, identifying hesitations, finding the moment where Alex slows down on a low ball or rushes a passing shot. And when she finds that crack, she will attack it over and over, with cold, calculated precision. For Alex, who is still building her experience at this stage of a Grand Slam, being tactically dissected by a smarter opponent is a different kind of pain. It is not like being overpowered. It is like trying to solve a puzzle where the pieces keep changing shape. Alex might win the exchanges where she gets the ball in her strike zone, and those moments will be spectacular, but Muchova will make sure those moments are rare. She will drag Alex into the forecourt with a drop shot. She will force her to hit on the run, off balance, out of position. And here is the experience factor that makes this even more difficult. Alex is new to second week pressure at this level. The weight of a round of 16 knowing a quarterfinal is one win away is a different kind of pressure entirely. Muchova has been here. She has been to Grand Slam finals. She has played on the biggest stages against the greatest players in the world. When a match reaches 5-all in the third set, that experience becomes currency you simply cannot buy. Muchova knows how to manage her nerves. She knows how to construct points under maximum pressure. She knows how to pull off her highest-risk shots when it matters most. And even the tactical dimension of Alex's left-handedness, which gives her a natural edge against most opponents by hooking heavy cross-court forehands into the backhand, could actually backfire here. Because Muchova's backhand is her most versatile weapon. The more Alex attacks it with topspin, the more she is feeding the exact shot Muchova wants to slice back, and that is the shot that destroys Alex's rhythm most. Alex will need to improvise completely. She will need to flatten her shots, attack the net herself, and try to disrupt Muchova before the tactical web fully forms around her. But executing an entirely new game plan in real time against a top 1-5 player in the round of 16, that is an enormous ask. This match ultimately comes down to one brutal question. Can a rhythm player survive against the player who lives to destroy rhythm? Alex has the power. She has the fighting spirit. She will have her moments early in the match, especially when her aggression might overwhelm Muchova before she fully settles. If Alex serves at a high percentage, hits her spots with precision, and keeps the tempo so fast that Muchova cannot think she has a chance, she needs this to be a sprint, not a marathon. Because the longer this match runs, the more Muchova's variety and intelligence will take over. The prediction here is Muchova, not easily. Alex's talent and firepower will likely be enough to take a closely fought set, and there will be moments of brilliance that remind everyone exactly why she is considered one of the most exciting young players in the sport. But as the match progresses, and the patterns deepen, Muchova will absorb the onslaught, use that backhand slice to suffocate Alex's forehand, drag her into the forecourt, and force the errors that decide tight matches. For Alex, this will be painful, but it will also be the most important lesson of her career. She will leave pain for, knowing exactly what she needs to add to her game to go from elite ball striker to true Grand Slam champion. And for Muchova, it will simply be another masterclass proof that in a sport increasingly defined by power, intelligence, and variety, still hold the ultimate advantage.